there is a growing trend for Google cracking down on policies. We've started to see it this earlier this year, and it's just continuing to ramp up month after month. In fact, a couple weeks ago, we went live on a very similar topic where we talked about Google reviews and them getting removed from your profile. And this is kind of in the same vein. Essentially, what's happening is this. There have been, for the last few years, there have been a enormous boost in fake profiles being created, and for a lot of different reasons. A common reason is like you might have some people with some internet skills that will create a bunch of fake profiles. They'll rank them, and then they'll demote real businesses, and then they'll take those fake profiles and they'll rent them out to real businesses. Well, Google doesn't want that. They only want real businesses on the profile. And so that's a model called rank to rent. And it's just one example. There's a bunch more reasons why people might create fake profiles. There's been a huge rash of it, right? And if you guys remember, like if you've had a business for a while, unless you're brand new, you probably remember creating a Google business profile. And when you went to go validate your address, what would they do? They'd send you a postcard, right? So you'd sign up a Google business profile, put in your address, name, address, phone number, all that stuff. And for them to verify your business, they would just send you a postcard to the address. And it would be there within a couple days to like a week, right? It'd be a postcard with Google, flip it over, and on the back it would say, go to this address, web address, google.com/something, and it would have a PIN number. And that PIN number would be specific to you. Get printed out just for you, almost like a two-factor authentication with your phone or text, except it was happening via mail. But people, spammers, found a way to crack that. And what they would do is they would create a fake account. They would find an address, just any random residential address, and they would hire people to go steal mail from mailboxes. And it was working like wildly well. I mean, what would you notice if a Google postcard was missing out of your mailbox? You never created one anyways. So you're like John Smith, like at 123 Anywhere Street, and someone steals a postcard you never expected in the first place. You wouldn't even raise suspicion. You never expected it to be there. So it's not like you had your postcard missing. They created the business at your house, unknowing to you. Postcards show up. They'd have someone go by and check the mail, steal it out. If for whatever reason they missed it and you captured your mail, they would click a button and resend a new one, which was part of Google's policy to allow. So we just keep trying until they got it. So Google realized that this postcard method was just not good enough. It wasn't good enough at all. So what they did, and this has been increasing over the course of this year, is they've changed a bunch of policies. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of those policy changes. They've also cracked down and holding more people accountable to the policies that were already there 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 2 years ago. There's policies there that were just kind of loosey-goosey and they just didn't care much about, and they were allowing things to go through. But now, because Google is really cracking down on these spam profile accounts, all the real businesses are going to get kind of caught in the crossfire. We have to play by their game to keep on it. So that's the reason why this whole thing comes because of scammers and spammers. And Google had to raise the bar on trying to crack down for that. The net benefit is that the customers, at the end of the day, after all the dust settles, they're going to have a system that allows for much more accurate, complete information. What it means for us as business owners, though, is we have to work a lot harder to get these profiles accurate so that we don't get suspended and inadvertently caught in this loop of cracking down on fake profiles and do something that might make Google think that we are fake. And there's very, very simple things that you can accidentally do to make Google think you're fake, and they'll suspend you for it. The biggest one that we're seeing today, right now, has to do with addresses. So we've seen several people change their addresses. Not us, because we do know the right way to do it, but we've had several people change their address, and the moment they do it, it gets suspended. Okay. So the big thing that happens here when changing addresses, address changes are allowed, right? They are completely allowed. But when you do it, you got to make sure that everything is by the policy. And there's some policies here that not everyone understands. And people that sometimes people think they understand and they just don't. I'm going to go over a couple real basic ones. We'll go into a little bit more detail later, but I'm going to just for the purpose of this example. Home addresses are not allowed. And that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers here. And a lot of people will disagree with me on this. It says verbatim that they are not allowed. There is no clarity or lack thereof around that subject. You are not allowed to use a home address on a Google business profile. Now there's hundreds of thousands, maybe not millions of people that are doing it. But that's one of the things that gets cracked down. So we've seen cases where someone lives at home address A, whatever that is, and they move to home address B. And for whatever reason, they have not been caught with the original home address, but they changed to another address. And then they change, and now they got to go through this thing, and then Google realizes that's a home address, and it messes them up. So you might be getting away with it right now. But if Google reviews your account and you are using a home address, it will be suspended. There is no question about it. We've seen it a dozen times just in the last 30 days. And we're seeing it more. The rate of this is more and more. There's also a lot of people, other people doing videos and blogs on this subject. This is definitely one of these policies that's been there for a long time. Everyone's been getting away with it, but Google is cracking down on it. So changing addresses, if you have an actual business address, their definition means that a customer should be able to go there. That means that a PO box or a storage unit doesn't qualify. A shared workspace, if you don't have a private office, doesn't qualify. A shared workspace, if you do have a sign on a door somewhere, that does work. If you have a shared office where there's like maybe 5-10 businesses in one door, but you have your own sub door, that does work. What doesn't work is like a home or storage unit or UPS store or PO box. None of those work at all. And they go completely against their policies. And so we've seen some cases where people are changing addresses and it doesn't work. There's even another thing that can happen that's similar. Maybe you have a home address and you're changing your business name. We've seen a couple of these cases where someone just tries to change their business name from like ABC Co to like AB Co, just a small, simple name change. But when they change that one thing, Google's now reviewing the entire profile. And as such, the address, if it's incorrect, can get you suspended. And so we've seen a bunch of cases like that too, where all of a sudden something that like we're not even changing the address, we're not even talking about the address, but that ultimately becomes the reason why we're getting suspended. Hey, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If you're looking for help growing your contracting business, I invite you to join my free community. In there, we go live with amazing trainings, share resources and downloads, plus you get free help from me and from peers. That link is down below to join, and we'll see you in the next video.